Been in business since September of '91. I used to locate across the street next to Tom's River Diner for 15 years. I couldn't buy a building, so I moved across the street, designed and built my own building. I've been turning rent for most of my life. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I went to Tech school in Brooklyn. It was my calling to be a mechanic. I was probably about 15 to 16 years old, and I entered the field still working, still being in school. I did have a little hiatus and became a New York City police officer for a little while. I did retire from that in '88, moved down here in '89, and I got into the automotive parts business, learning how to run the parts end since I knew the automotive end of it. While I was a police officer, I also had a two-car garage shop behind my house in Brooklyn. So I always knew I was going to own my own business, a fairly good-sized business. So I worked at the parts store for 2 years and found a location which was right next to Tom's River Diner and opened up over there. In the beginning, I only had the front half of the building with 3 bays and 2 lifts. As time went on, the building was split in half, and I took over the back half and put 6 bays, 6 working lifts. I hired some more mechanics to work with me, got my degrees and different licenses and everything else. And for 15 years, I've worked in an old rundown building. Keeping up all the modern technologies and everything, I have all types of licenses and different degrees. I'm a master certified mechanic with advanced skill levels and everything else. I'm also New Jersey State Inspector. I'm also a re-inspector. I got a couple things underneath my belt here. But I still enjoy what I was doing. I guess it was about 2003 or 2002 I decided to build my own building where I'm located at now. And you'll see a picture of it. I built a great picture of it. It's a totally energy efficient building. It's an R50 heat value building made out of insulated concrete form. The footprint is 10,500 square foot, heated floors. We have 7 lifts that I work with, and I have a special lift in the back for my toys, because I always enjoy my toys. Again, the industry has definitely changed since I've been doing. When I first started in this industry, you could carry around a little handheld toolbox and just about fix everything from a handheld toolbox. One of my last crafts talks, I've actually brought in one of my computers that would do all our actual programming now, how to change settings in the vehicle and everything else, not just scan tools that anybody could buy a $20 scan tool. And they call me back, well, I got code number this and this, how much it's going to fix, it costs me to fix it. It doesn't work that way. That scan tool, trouble code number that you get in diagnostic trouble code is just the start of the diagnosis on there. And like so many people come in, oh, I need an oxygen sensor. And then how much is an oxygen sensor? You go there and you get the car up in the air and you find out the oxygen sensor is not plugged in. The Wi-Fi. But you got that code, how much it's going to cost me? Well, this is where it comes around. I plugged it back in, I cleared the code, let's see if it comes back. And we'll go from there. But there's a lot of different things that goes on with the cars nowadays. Going on. I did bring one little tool to demonstrate right here, and I think just about everybody in this room has experiences. The little yellow light on the dashboard that tells you your tire is low. Put black tape over that light, tell you your tire is low or anything else like that. Well, that little tire indicator is built in a small little piece that has, I'll have it pass around. This is an old one, this is my show and tell piece. Inside here is a little battery, about the size of a little dime quarter batteries that's sealed in here. Has an electronic transmitter and a bladder. Inside here, this actually goes in your rim. It doesn't go, when you buy new tires, you'll get one of these. One of these is about $80 new. And what this does is goes right where the old valves have to go in, where you put your air in. And as you can see, there'll be a little hole, so when it's in the air with the tire, it pushes on the bladder. It actually through the battery, which is activated when you turn the key on, all through Bluetooth. Everything works off Bluetooth and stuff. Now I'll show you how we read it and we program them or change them or anything else. So this will push on that, it'll send the signal to the dashboard or to the actual tire monitoring system, and it can tell you which type of car you have, if it's a specific tire or if it's just a tire that's on. And a lot of times you'll see a tire come up and it'll say left rear tire. 30, only got 26 pounds around, and you go and check your gauge, you got 32. Well, you could thank the person who rotated tires that they never calibrated what the thing is. Because the little machine, again, has to go around every time we change the tires, which we really, really don't like doing tire rotations, because we don't know who was the last person to put that tire on, and I can't tell you how many times we put out air gun on and we snap a lug nut as we're taking off because it's across there. Now that vehicle's stuck up on my lift until I can get it stood. I cannot let you leave my shop with the top missing lug nut. So we actually have to now take it, and this is why I personally don't get involved with tire rotations. We do a lot of oil changes. The very, very first thing in the morning, Robert asked me about oil changes. Captain Mullen, quite a few people all know about my oil changes. Come in at 8 o'clock, I'll have you out by 8:30. In most cars, I do stay away from European manufacturers. The Audis, the Porsches, the Volkswagens, the BMWs. The reason being is they don't play well in the sandbox. The reason being I'm saying that is about the software that we have in our computer systems. I have different computer systems. I spend about $72,000 a year on subscription fees to feed all my different computers. And that's what kickbacks from my different manufacturers and parts suppliers I get back. The European manufacturers don't want to play ball. They don't want to bundle. They want their own individual software, and it's $100,000 per manufacturer per year.
That's including Mercedes? I didn't hear you say
Same thing,
Mercedes.
I don't touch them. I won't touch Mercedes.
Oh, you don't?
Nope, that's a European manufacturer, yep. And the reason being is, if I can't do the whole job and know I can complete that job right, I'm not doing the job.
Okay.
I've learned to say no. 33 years in business, no, I do not do that work. I know what I do, and I know what I don't do.
Okay, so you basically, American.
And the Asians.
Okay.
Asians, like Japan,
Yes.
Honda, Acura,
The Japanese.
all the Asian manufacturers. But the BMWs and Audis and stuff like that, I get calls on them all the time because it's the same thing. They have to bring them back to somebody that has that software. Because I can do different things. I can program vehicles on programs I spend on money. I can change settings. I can see what's going on with it as I'm road testing. One of my guys road testing, we're watching different graphs, we're watching different parameters. We know what to look for. You know, and so they actually, the manufacturers won't let us have that information. They say they develop the information, it's up to us to keep it. If you want it, it's gonna be this price. That's why a lot of times you're gonna see specialty shops now. They'll be just Honda and Acura shops, Lexus, Toyota shops, stuff like that in the aftermarket. Because they need to spend that type of money in the software to load that computer.
Do you have inspection stations?
I do state inspection, yes. I'm one of the few people that can get that little red sticker. I'm one of the few people who can do the repairs, can stamp it and re-inspect it, get the sticker on it. I have that license too.
Nice.
So there's quite a bit that can go on in different industries and stuff like that. As I said, I'll pass this around. I know it's not really much important to you, but that's that little yellow light. Now,
So a little
this
payment.
little yellow light that tells you the tire is low or anything else like that. They are in just about every single car nowadays. There was one specific car. That was actually why we had them. And I don't know if anybody doesn't know what specific car. They used to put tire monitors in our cars. Ford Explorers used to roll over, didn't they?
The microphone close to you.
Ford Explorers used to roll over. Yep, the tire would blow up. The reason you couldn't mean that Bridgestone Firestone that made the tires for the Explorers back then would tell the people put 26 pounds of air in the tire. And what would happen is during the hot seasons and stuff like that, on the hot roads, the tires soft, the sidewalls would blow out. Ford, they both took 50% risk, what's the word I'm looking for? They both would charge 50% because the Ford Explorer, the sway bar, the stabilizer bar, that actually stopped you from rolling over, was made too small. The diameter was made too small. So when the tire would blow out, you jerk the wheel, and the stabilizer bar that was supposed to do, snapped. And then the car would roll over. But personally, I think it was a politician that was on his way to his mistress when that tire came out. But seriously, but that's what it was. So if you ever get asked, I know why they have tire monitors in cars nowadays. Underneath every car made from 1995 and half, you know what? There's a little connector underneath the dashboard called a DLC connector. This tool will plug into that. If you walk around the car, each tire, we actually get a signal and program where that tire is supposed to be and the pound and also could tell me how much battery life is left in that, so that monitor that's being passed around. In most cases, life expectancy on one of those monitors are probably anywhere from 6 to 8 years. So if your car light keeps on going on and it says no service, that's one of your reasons why the battery has gone bad. And guess what? You can't just change that battery. You gotta buy that whole piece. And between parts and labor, in most cases, it's about $140 per tire to do. So that little black piece of tape on that yellow light, a lot of people do. So this actually has protection, there's usually serial numbers on here. And then I have to actually put it right in here, and it gets copied. And then I can program it through here that this tire, this sensor, this part number is gonna be in this location, and then later on.
No, otherwise you have to keep erasing it on your dash.
Yeah, exactly, yes. They have one in each tire.
Right.
So if the battery life,
Is
then
this
as we're
one
doing
on-
it, we can walk around and say, oh, there's 10% life left in that battery, guess what? I'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks for the other tire, the other model.
Yeah, because you may replace one and then it's still won't erase on the dash.
Right, right, well, so you race for that one specific one, wherever I have that located, say it's the left rear tire, that left rear tire is now reading, but next week if you come in and says, hey, that light's back on, it could be one of the other ones.
Are you able to test that at the same time?
Yes, that's why I says, as I'm walking by all through Bluetooth, that reading will tell me if it's 10% life, 50% life left in that battery.
Oh, okay, good. So,
Little things
probably
like
be
that.
seeing me soon.
I'm not one of the greatest speakers around here, but I hope I presented everything with you.
Did a wonderful job. Wonderful.